Thanks. Developing tonight, a teacher pay raise is moving through the Mississippi legislature. The question is which version becomes law. The Senate amended House Bill 1395 today. Three sides. Darius McCormick tells you how much money your children's teachers would get. Darius?
$6,000 for teachers, $9,000 for special education, and $2,000 for teacher assistants, community college, and university instructors, all phased in over the next 3 years. When we say phased over 3 years, that means split evenly each year. Instead of the full $6,000 next year, teachers would get a $2,000 raise annually. The raises would cost the state $109 million this year and $327 million over 3 years. The Senate says it's the price they're willing to pay, with Mississippi facing a shortage of nearly 4,000 teachers. Lieutenant Governor Delbert Hosemann focused on special education teachers. Those students are hit the hardest by the shortage.
We want our young teachers that have that special angel in them to go teach special ed children to be rewarded for doing that. It's very difficult, more difficult than what our teachers do, which is also difficult.
Mississippi ranks 51st in teacher pay nationally, with an average salary of $41,500. The Senate passed a standalone teacher pay raise earlier this session. The House then responded with a broader bill touching multiple issues. You can see the difference in size on your screen. Now, today's bill goes to the House, where members will decide to concur or non-concur. If signed into law, raises would kick in July 1st, the start of 2026-2027 school year. Darius McCormick, 3 on your side.